everybody, this is Ramon Ray. Welcome to the Rundown with Ramon. I hope your day is pleasant and fantastic. Brian Hess, who I've known for, minute, 4 years, give or take, since all of us joined on Clubhouse. Great to have you here on the Zone of Genius or Rundown with Ramon show. Brian Hess, how are you, man?
I'm doing amazing, brother. It's good to be here with you.
Very good. And why do you have this deliriously love of all things like Pittsburgh, the Steelers and Pittsburgh? I mean, I guess you're there, so that's why, I guess. But I mean, what's up with that?
I'm a Pittsburgh guy, true and true, brother. I can relate to it from many different aspects. Pittsburgh's a blue collar city. I'm a blue collar guy. I was born and raised in Uniontown, Pennsylvania. My dad was a steel worker, so the identity of the city is just part of who I am, man.
I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, Brian Hess, let's get the show started. Tell us a bit, Brian, who you are, what you do, the name of your company. Introduce yourself for us, who you are today. And then where I want to go with this, Brian, again, you and I can roll so easily, but want to get some business principles from you. I've watched your journey. I'm seeing your journey. And it fascinates me. You know, I think so many times, Brian, we get so focused on Elon Musk and other top 100 billion and trillionaires. God bless them, which are good. But we forget there's a number of, I know you have a heart of humility, but a number of business owners that are growing and that we can all learn from. So that's who I love to shine the light on, people who I look up to and say, yeah, this is reachable. I can do this. So that's the context. Brian Hess, talk to us. Who are you? What's the name of your company? What do y'all do? Let's start there.
Yeah. Well, first and foremost, man, I'm a man of God. I'm a father of 4, soon to be 5. Have an amazing wife at home that stays at home and has the much harder job of raising our children primarily. I own a couple of businesses, so I'm a construction guy by trade. So I founded and started the Pavement group back in 2018, and at the same time started Top Contractor School, where we mentor contractors all over North America and even a few over in Europe. Both pretty successful businesses. The Pavement Group has grown extremely rapidly over the last 5 years. And so, unique about me is I was 38 years old before I jumped into the world of real entrepreneurship, being out on my own. So I had 3 kids and a wife that stayed at home when I made that leap. And so I think that makes my story a little bit unique and probably one that people can draw some courage from, some knowledge from. In that aspect, because a lot of people, I think, have that dream inside of them for a long time. And, some of them ignore that dream because of, the risk of losing their health insurance or various other things that their job might provide them. And so for me at 38 years old, I made the leap 5.5 years ago and never looked back, man. And so today I tell people all the time, I come to work and most days I just can't believe that I get paid to do what it is that I get to do every day and the people that I get to do it with.
Brian, I feel that way when I leave the stage, and by God's grace, I'm doing a few entrepreneurial things as well, but I can identify with the core of a lot of things I'm doing. But as you know, you get a sense, I love hosting big events and entertainment side. Brian, when I finish it, I'm like, wow, let's do it again. United, sign me up. Everybody doesn't like that, but that's part of my life. Marriott Hotel, United, a stage all day. It's a joy. So totally get it.
Couldn't agree more.
So let's talk about, and brother, just so we understand part of your journey, where were you the day before you went to full-time entrepreneurship? Were you in business already doing pretty well? Were you doing something else? Just help us understand that journey before we hit the main bulk of this, really some principles of building a successful business. But where were you the day before?
Yeah, absolutely.
You got into full-time entrepreneurship.
So spent my, young adult life in corporate America. So, from the time that I left college until I was 30 years old, I was in a corporate job and, primarily just, hustling the corporate ladder, right? Trying to make it from one position to the next. So I worked for Verizon Wireless for a number of years and ran sales teams there and did very well, multiple 6-figure income and, all the comfort. And then at some point in that journey, I relocated to South Florida, and my very first customer in South Florida owned a construction company. And at the end of our first meeting, said, man, you should quit your job and come work for me. And I was like, this guy's got to be out of his mind, right? Where I come from, as well as I was doing, that was as good as it gets, right? And so, but a year to the day later, after I arrived in South Florida, I took him up on his job offer and entered the construction industry. And that was back in 2011. And the rest is history, man. I learned the business working for people in the construction industry. And then at some point, I just, thought, man, if I really want to innovate this industry, both on the technology side and the culture side, I'm going to have to blaze my own trail, right? I'm going to have to go out on my own. And so I worked for companies for a number of years up until 2018 when I started the Pavement Group.
I love it. I love it. So, Brian, let's jump right into it. What are you doing well? A lot of things, I'm sure you made mistakes, et cetera. I'd love to hear that. And I have tons of questions I can ask you, but I will only ask you when I hear you not speaking anymore. But help us understand, Brian, that's really the one question. Just tell the Zone of Genius, the Ramon Ray audience, and these are smaller business owners, and give more context. Many are not the EO, YPO, million or more in sales, 3 million, 5, 20 million, but talk to those who are at 200,000, 500,000, which, for good or for bad, is higher than even most businesses, right? Because most are the proverbial just trying to eke it out. But talk to those that are making a few 100,000 a year, doing well. They got a team of 1 or 2, and maybe they want to get to, Brian, 2, 3, 4, 5 million. If that's helpful context, they're not trying to maybe all go VC funded to be $100 million business, but they got something in there to live the life they want, making a few million a year. If that's a good context, Brian, what are you doing right? What can they learn from you?
Yeah, well, the good news is, man, I think there's a lot of transferable stuff that is the same, right? Whether you're at 100,000, 200,000, or 5 million, right? It's going to be most of the same. There are things that I've learned, what works when you're a small business actually inverts and has the opposite effect on you when you get larger. One of those things is being super flexible with people, right? When you get a larger culture of people inside of your organization, being super flexible on policies or time off or things like that can absolutely invert on you. But I would say, the things that are most transferable, man, is a crystal clear vision is one of those things. For me, I always had the ability to not just create a strong vision, but to sell that vision to other people. And I think that's what really generates a business from the ground up. It's like, what is the founder's vision of it? Like, what is the problem that you're trying to solve? And why are you so passionate about being able to solve that? What does it actually do? And so for us, we've really kept that identity to this point where we're a, very multiple 8-figure company, right? Sure. And, we've been able to keep that identity because we really believe that our mission is to take facility and property managers across the country and simplify parking lot management, pavement management, pavement asset management for them, where our goal is to simply get them home to their dinner table sooner and with less concerns than they would with any other contractor. And so, it's building a business around that vision. And then for us, we have a kind of another set of customers, which is the contractors that actually complete the work for us across the country. And so it's selling that vision over and over and over again to those customers and to those contractors to make them feel part of it, right? Anybody that follows our content will see the logo that says One Team. And that is kind of our alignment of all of those different things. Our employees, our customers, our contractors, we're all on the same team trying to accomplish a mission. And that is to improve the people's lives, both that give us the work, our customers, and that perform the work, our contractors. And of course, as a result of that, our employees. And so what does it take to do that? I think it takes obviously strong sales and marketing, but most importantly, strong leadership, and to be there for people in a different way. And so as we build a team, whether that team is 1, 2, 3 people or 30 something like we have at this point, that takes compassion. It takes offering people grace, especially when they don't deserve it. It takes a different approach of leadership. And we've learned that when you do that, man, you attract some incredible people to your business, and those people will build the business for you. And so, what I mean by that is not that they work and you don't, but rather that every business that's built is built from a foundation, right? It's actually the opposite of what most people would view it as. It's not a top-down build. It's a bottom-up build. It's a foundational piece that people that enter at an entry-level position within your company, they have goals and dreams that they want to pursue. And if you can sell the dream, if you can sell the vision of them being able to do that within your company, then they will push the company from the ground up because they have their own dreams that are pushing them to push the company forward. And so I would say that's what we're doing the best, man. It's the people part of it. It's getting the right people, showing them the path of achieving their dreams within the walls of this business.
I love it. Is it fair to say, and you didn't say this, Brian, but I'm picking up, and I could be wrong. Feel free to say, Ramon, I don't mean that. But is it fair to say Facebook marketing, LinkedIn ads, being on TikTok content, any number of things that we hear about and talk about possibly are secondary to Brian Hess, or maybe the same thing everybody else says, but what you just said is numero uno and your secret sauce and most important. You may say, Ramon, I just said that, but I just want to know, is that what I'm hearing you say, that all the other things you may be doing, we do a billboard, we do sponsorships, that could be very much second from what you just said, building the team and the vision? Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, it's people first, always been. But I would say that, social media is a good example of how you can build people through a social media presence. There's a guy sitting right outside the studio that I was just in here mentoring a little bit, and I'm convincing him to start a podcast because he's a great leader. He has a good message. And so the more frequent and consistent that your people hear that message through podcast platforms, through social media, through strong marketing channels, but it's really just communication channels, the more people like yourself you're going to attract. And so for me, man, we've been able to attract, we have a husband and wife that were both PhDs in physical therapy that work for us. We have people from plenty of successful backgrounds that have left their jobs to come work here because of the culture, because of what they see online, because of all the things that they really desire to have, which is how I felt before I started this business. They desire to have that in their life. They desire to be around good people that they can connect with and feel related to every single day. And they may not have that where they're at. And so if you're a small business owner and you're looking to recruit that really successful person into your business, and you're saying to yourself, like, oh, I don't think that person would come work for me. I believe the difference between them working for you and not is the number of times that they hear you share your message, right? Like, Ramon, you and I don't talk all the time, but I know your message. I know your heart. I know what you're about. That's right. Because of the frequency and consistency at which you show up online and for people and all the things that I know about you. Predominantly, I know those through a digital channel. And so people in today's world in 2023, people are most impacted by a digital distribution of you as a person. So digitally duplicating yourself from the real life version to the online version, making sure that's in perfect alignment with who you actually are, and then distributing that as many places as possible is what in 2023 and beyond is going to build a great corporate culture.
I love that, Brian. And you're so right about social media. There's all kind of negative things about it per se, but taking a look at you and I and other friends of mine, there's people who I talk to all the time, I know, but I'm surprised sometimes. I'll mention Seth Godin is one. There's other people that said, oh yeah, Ramon, this and this about you. I'm like, how do you know that? He's like, Ramon, I don't comment. It's not like I talk to you, but I'm watching you. And I was like, okay, but I was watching them too. So, and the same with you, Brian. I listen to every podcast, every episode, look all the way through, but Brian's in my feed, Brian, and that's one of the benefits I do think of social media, that it aligns you. And sometimes purposely, I do reach out because I want to hear other things, but overall, 80%, no, I want to keep track of the people whose heart beats like mine. So I love it. Let's talk about then that vision and mission. Is it an example that, Brian, I don't know which company, I'm sure you know what it is, but we hear about the Ritz-Carltons, the Disney, where there was trash and it wasn't their job, but they picked it up because they felt ownership. Is that the kind of thing that illustrates itself with mission and vision and what you're building in Pavement Group and your contractor school?
Yeah, I think it's, John Maxwell says, calls it the law of the picture, right? People do what people see. And so I believe that people's actions are reflective of, the leadership that they work for. It's like, are they going to do it? To your point, is if there's a piece of trash on the floor, are you going to pick it up or are you going to walk past it? And that does become part of the fabric of who the company is. There's no doubt about it. I mean, you can think of leaders that you know of and the people that work for them, right? And those people have very similar personality traits, or at least foundational values and principles of how they show up in life. And so like attracts like, man. And that is the most powerful way to build a tribe of people, a community of people. You see it in Breakfast with Champions, right? It's like, that's a bunch of like-minded and like-hearted people that show up every day because the best way, the easiest way to describe culture is when you're part of it, man, it just feels like home, right? It feels normal. It feels like this is where I'm supposed to be. And that is true in business too, man. But I believe so many businesses get it wrong. So many businesses overlook. They believe they hire the employee. They don't believe they hire the whole person. And with a person comes all the other stuff, all of their challenges, all of their family, their children, their past history of, people they've worked with that haven't been great leaders, and sometimes the issues that come along with that. And when we realize that we hire that whole person and we bring them into our life, and we can, in a lot of ways, improve their life in different aspects, they become extremely loyal to the cause. They love coming to work. It gives them energy. It doesn't take energy from them to do work. And so that's our mission. That's what we're trying to move forward. And we continue. I kind of chuckle now, man, because every time we have a need for somebody, whether it's a marketing person or a salesperson or a project coordinator on our team, somehow somebody shows up all the time, right? And I just step back and say, man, just watch God work, man. Just watch God work. It's incredible, man. How much, when you put yourself in the right situations, you do the right things. One of my favorite quotes that I share all the time with people is, you just can't do the right things every single day and get the wrong result, man. It's just not how it works, right? And so as you position yourself in life by doing right by others, valuing other people, being a servant leader, you're going to find that there are, people say this to me all the time in construction. Nobody wants to work. And I say, hold on, man. Nobody wants to work. Maybe nobody wants to work for you. Now, that's not a personality attack at somebody. Maybe it's that they're not marketing well enough. Maybe it's that they're not putting their message out there enough. Maybe it's that they're not a good enough leader yet for people to really want to go out of their way to work for. Our last hire moved here from Charlotte, North Carolina to work for us, right? And so that's not a testament to me. That's a testament to our entire team and what we're building and what we collectively represent now as a company. And so to me, culture is everything, man. I do a keynote called Culture is King. And, there's not a whole lot in a business that will make you more profitable and make the business more fulfilling to run than having a strong culture.
I think it's powerful. And that is everything. Brian Hess, I do want you to take a few minutes or two, even though my audience, I'm always a firm believer. I get this from my friend Adrian Miller. Don't look for people who have your money per se. Look for people who know people who have your money, as it were. So I've learned that quite a bit. But do talk a bit about Pavement Group, and correct the name if I didn't say it right, and your contracting school. Those two things. Who do you serve? Who is it? Educate people like me. I just went to my church rents a dental clinic. You could tell it was freshly paved. The concrete barrier, the lines are perfect. Is that the kind of thing? Like, is that the bed? And okay, that's so. Talk about
like money out there, Ramon. Did you go? Smells like money, right? That's what we always say, man. We drive past a freshly paved lot, dude. It smells like money to us. But so Pavement Group is a nationwide asphalt and concrete company, and we serve many of the nation's largest brands. So if you shop there, you pump your gas there, you do your banking there, you receive your packages from there. We're in, nearly every vertical of real estate that you could imagine. And our specialty is managing large portfolios of properties like that. And so we get in there for large corporations. We analyze what they are doing right now, how many repairs are existing. We try to mitigate those risks and potential lawsuits from trip and falls and things like that. And we manage all those pavement assets in a cloud-based system that we develop from scratch. And then we distribute that information out to them. And then we manage all of their projects across the country, whether that be at home here in Pittsburgh. Last year, we did business in 44 states. So we're all across the country, and we're managing, I don't even know, hundreds of thousands of properties in our portfolios now that we, again, go send people out to assess them, look at them, figure out what needs to be done at a portfolio level, and then send people out to go do that work. And then on the contracting school,
let me go to that one. That's okay. So ideally speaking, and correct me, I like to put my foot in my mouth. So let me just say what I'm hearing. So big lot, 500 cars. Is that big or small? Like 10,000 cars? Just give me a context of.
Yeah. I mean, a couple 100,000 square feet. I mean, we do everything, man, from replacing a stop sign to building an entire, shipping
Got it.
distribution
Okay.
center from the ground
So
up.
you don't
Yep.
touch inside the door, not the elevators, not mopping the floor inside per se, but Brian Hess's, and what's the name of the company again? Pavement
The
Group?
Pavement Group.
The Pavement Group. Anything outside, what we're seeing, whether it's concrete, asphalt, all that, from the stop sign, the little thing your car tire hits, that whole area, you all can and do manage for clients. That's the essence of it.
That's it.
Got it. Okay.
You got it. You hit the nail on the head, brother.
That's funny though when you say cloud. I'm thinking like Brian's there. You know what? That stop sign's looking a little askew. Huh? Let's hit a button and it gets repaired in 48 hours.
It's coming soon, Ramon. It's coming soon. We got we're gonna release that out to the public where you can send us any pothole and we can automated, search for who owns that property and send them an email and say, hey man, you got a risk out here. You want us to fix it.
I love it. Let's talk about the Contractor School. Name of it again, website address, and let's talk about that, who you serve, what happens there, why, et cetera. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, so Top Contractor School is the name of the company. TopContractorschool.com is the website. And I had a passion, man, for wanting to share the leadership, sales, marketing, et cetera, that I learned over the years. When I came from corporate America into private business, the one thing that I noticed was the gap in learning and training and access to information of how to become successful. These people who own construction businesses are incredible tradespeople, but they don't always have access to the information on the other side of it, the business side of it, right? How to market, how to sell, how to grow their business. And so for your audience, it's a big one, man. We wanted to take the information that I had and other people had that could help these people move their businesses forward, help more families within their companies, raise income levels within their companies, all those kinds of things, and be able to give them the information that would allow them to do that. And so we started Top Contractor School kind of as a passion project to help the subcontractors that were working for us at the Pavement Group. And now that has grown into 750 plus contractors have gone through our programs. We have a couple of groups that meet weekly. We just had about 50 people in here last week, Thursday and Friday, and we all went to the Penguin game and the Steeler game this weekend together. And literally, man, we just help each other grow those businesses. So we've had people go from 250,000 to 5 million, from 3 million to 20 million. And so our mission there is to impact the contractors across the country in a positive way, be able to give them access to the information that's been tough for a lot of people to find over the years, and really just make an impact on the construction industry in a positive way.
I love that, Brian. This is so beautiful for me, beautiful to hear, beautiful to see. And I think it's so important because I think contractors are important. As you said, they are good technicians, contractors. A buddy of mine, I won't call his name out because if he hears it, he'll be like, Ramon, you said my name. I'm going to. His name is George. George, I'm talking to you. He needs to go to your contractor schools. I'm going to hit him up because he's great, honest, lovely guy, a friend of mine. But yet we talk all the time. I'm like, did you read this book? Did you read this book? Are you doing profit? Are you doing this? He's like, Ramon, So I totally get what you're saying, and I love it. Brian, anything I didn't ask you? There's a lot. Again, hopefully we'll have another chat like this in 2 or 3 months, but or give or take. I'd love to talk to you regularly and share your knowledge. But anything I didn't ask you, anything that's important that you say, Ramon, I'd love to just touch on this before we conclude, Brian.
No, man, I think, for me, my personal mission is to just make a positive impact on the blue collar industry, the construction industry that I care about so much, that, help my family growing up. My dad was one of 6 kids and his dad was a coal miner. And so, I think our responsibility is to leave our kids a little bit better than we had it. And my dad certainly did that for us. And so my mission is to do that for my family and for as many families across the country and around the world as we possibly can. And so anybody out there that's a contractor that, like your buddy George, is, out there hustling, one of the things that I would say is, those people normally, and this isn't just in construction, it's any entrepreneurial journey, it feels pretty lonely, man. And community is the only thing that solves that. And so just know, this isn't a sales pitch for what we do, but you are better together than you'll ever be on your own. And so when you find a community of like-minded, like-hearted people that share your values, share your principles, connect with those people, man. They'll help you. They'll accelerate your ability to get where you're trying to go to. Mentorship has changed my life. And I know certainly for anybody out there that's not leveraging it right now, it'll change yours too. So don't hesitate, get plugged into something and watch what God does for your life when you got all of his children helping you push the rock up the hill.
Well, absolutely. And Brian, I thank you. I know it's not a sales pitch per se, but I trust you, Brian, and know your brand. And so definitely those listening, one more time, the name Brian website, those who are running construction companies and know they can do better, know they can do more. Give us the name one more time, Brian.
Yeah. Topcontractorschool.com. Easy to find.
Love it. Topcontractorschool.com. My name is Ramon Ray, and this has been the Zone of Genius show, or maybe it's the Rundown with Ramon show. I'm figuring out that, Brian, what I want. I got a few things cooking for 2024, but thank you for being here. Someone who I look up to and have learned a lot, as we said, through the power of social media. Brian has his own content, own show, so definitely connect with Brian Hess and his team more so if he can help you in your business. But again, if you want to get to know me better, RamonRay.com. If you want to be on the show, just DM me, fax me, TikTok me, carrier pigeon me. It doesn't matter. Be blessed and have an amazing, amazing day.